One of the big challenges we also have around AI is deepfakes, deepfake content, deepfake videos, and all of that compromises the evidence that insurers are able to gather. Not just is the content believable, but is the information behind it believable?
For you regulars, InsTech is going back to its roots. So we've got 4 early stage businesses. We've given them all 5 minutes to pitch. We're asking them all the same 5 questions. Let's start. Hannah Gormley, what's your background?
So my background is probably slightly different. So I've spent academically legal and then did the super normal thing before going and pursuing a career as a solicitor and joining the information security tech startup land. So I've worked a lot with insurers from an information security angle, as well as other organizations, banks, big FIs, defense, etc. The main focus of the work that I've done so far is around by proving what's real, by proving what's authentic, you are much better positioned to prevent bad actors from either defrauding your org or etc.
So is that, tell me, OpenOrigins, what does that do? How long has it been going?
Yeah, of course. So OpenOrigins, put really simply, we prove what's real. So a few people have mentioned here AI. AI is a tool for good. AI is a tool that we can all use in order to help us, in order to make us scale, in order to make us more effective and give our customers a better experience. One of the big challenges we also have around AI is deepfakes, deepfake content, deepfake videos, and all of that compromises the evidence that insurers are able to gather. Not just is the content believable, but is the information behind it believable? We've talked about using data to automate good decisions. Well, we're in a world where how can you trust that that data is real? How do you know that the photo of this crash happened at this location? How do you know that this photo of this car is the original and it's not someone augmenting it to make a crash look worse, etc.? Yeah, put simply, we solve that problem.
And how far have you got?
Yeah, so the product's about a year old, and we actually started in the media angle. So we work a lot with large media organizations, especially looking at things like images coming out of Ukraine, images coming out of Gaza, and helping prove what is real and authentic and not, pardon the overused expression, fake news. We moved into the insurance space about 2 months ago due to quite a high volume of interest in proving the authenticity of images, making sure that you can actually spot fraud, making sure that you can actually convict people when you see multiple actors operating across different insurers. So we're new in the insurance space, but we're currently working with, I can't name names because we're under a few NDAs, but watch launches later this year, 4 of the largest insurtech providers to help bring this solution into your hands.
Is the insurance industry being nice to you?
It's been really wonderful, actually. I think I have one of the best experiences. Everyone we've spoken to understands the problem, especially in speciality. Low value, high volume claims. And everyone understands that the status quo right now, the way that we run our businesses cannot continue, it cannot exist, and it cannot operate in a way that's good for our customers with the evolution of AI unless we do something about it.
Get ready for our decision-making cycles. So what next for you?
Next for us, so as I mentioned, we're working with 4 of the largest insurtech providers. We're also working with a number of the larger through to the smaller insurers. We can name names once, as you said, we've moved through the decision-making cycles, but it's incredibly exciting. The other thing that we are working on, one of the biggest problems that I think insurers face today is you're only comparing to your own data set, or you're comparing to an IFB data set, which is about a quarter behind on data. One of the things that's really unique about OpenOrigins is the way that we use the blockchain. So founder, Cambridge, PhD, like we have to shut him in a cupboard to stop him inventing new stuff. It's brilliant. He's invented an entirely new type of blockchain that is infinitely scalable, gets faster the more nodes you add to it. I'll save going too deep down the tech rabbit hole there, but essentially we are able to, in a completely secure way, without taking your data out of your system, compare unique IDs for every image we've ever seen. So every time you see a claim, we're able to tell you, have we seen this before? We're able to tell you, have we seen part of this before? And again, that's a completely proprietary technology that's able to not just analyze an image, but understand, have I seen 70% of this before? And actually, this thing over here, let me tell you, it is a fake. The last bit, just on the claims automation side, is we can then pass all this data, trusted and stamped with an authenticity stamp, back into your systems to help you cross-reference it against your existing data, automate escalations, automate decision-making, reduce claim cycles even further.
Wow. That is actually really cool. So you've got 52 seconds. What can this lot help you with?
Come chat to us. Come chat to me. Come chat to members of the team. We can help solve this problem. We deploy in a really easy way API integration or into your existing capture lenses if you already have cameras, etc., for submitting claims evidence. We can help you solve this problem.
I know, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell us a little about your background.
Yeah, so I have no background in insurance before the past couple of months. I'm a tech guy, was studying computing at Imperial, was in San Francisco for a couple months working on a couple startups, came back, worked for another early stage startup doing software for industrial inspection. So I was working on automating a lot of different workflows to go from a human having to spend a day writing a report to them being able to do it in 1 hour so they could spend time in the field where it was actually important.
So what does Quarto AI do?
So we're an AI back office for small insurance brokers, largely in Europe. So anything from bordereau to policy renewals to running sanctions checks. We have a bunch of different components in our platform, and then we kind of assemble these components for our different clients and build custom tools and integrations so that we can fit on top of their systems as like an AI layer to automate different workflows or provide insights for our clients.
How far have you got? Implemented any of that?
Yeah, like super early stage, working with a couple brokers and MGAs in pilots. So a lot of that means building out custom integrations for them. One of like a couple examples. So one client wanted a chatbot on their website where they could verify qualified leads. We built voice agents where we could provide customer support via voice. We built document ingestion systems so that they could, after having generated quotes, they could extract all the data, summarize it, and give it to their client instantaneously. And
that can't be the end of your ambitions. What's your plan next? What's on the roadmap?
Yeah, so we've largely been working on this kind of back office, automating these systems for our brokers. But now we're more thinking, what if we build, after having built kind of almost this full stack, what if we become a broker? So we're now thinking of becoming an AI native consumer insurance broker, having worked with a few brokers in Europe. Now we're thinking of doing this in the US, becoming a digital consumer insurance broker. So the way that people in the US buy insurance typically is either through a broker, and the broker is not incentivized to give them the best price because they will get the price that gives them the highest commission often, and it's a fairly slow process. Or people will go through 10 different carriers and generate quotes because price comparison websites aren't near as big in the US. And so we're kind of thinking, what if we can not only build this price comparison site, but also offer the full value of a broker in the US and make this digital accessible via a mobile app, whereby a consumer can ask advice at any time or get the perfect coverage and the best price for them.
And what help do you need?
Yeah, so any connections or people who work in the US insurance space would be amazing. Would love to chat either now or reach out on LinkedIn or anything. So yeah, thank you very much.
Do you need some money?
Soon. I think now we're in the process of getting a California broker license and still speaking with a bunch of consumers, and also on the carrier side, getting integrations with US carriers. But soon we'll be raising seed round in about 5 months.
You're going to need a lot of money. Thank you very much for joining us, Charles.
Thank you.
Jack, come and join me. Didn't really want to come, but I told him to. And he said, well, I don't do anything to do with claims. And I said, I don't care. Come and tell us what you're doing anyway, because it's really cool. What's your background?
Well, first of all, don't tell a claims crowd that I didn't want to come talk about claims. My background, I'm originally from Ireland. I initially worked in engineering, and then I spent 6 years in McKinsey and Company helping insurance clients to deploy machine learning, so across claims, pricing, mostly personal lines.
And what does Nettle do?
So Nettle really is building software for risk engineering, which is a very specific component in commercial lines. So risk engineering, typically you have someone do a survey or an inspection of a property, like a factory. That process, as you can imagine, very manual today. 60% of their time is spent writing reports, and 40% of risk engineers will retire in the next 5 years. So it's already become a bit of a bottleneck for underwriting and stopping new business growth. Nettle basically automates all of that manual work, either through upfront remote inspections, which are data-driven, or on-site, you can use our mobile app to capture evidence, which is analyzed by AI, translated, and turned into a finished document. Taking the sting out of risk engineering. Indeed.
Yeah. I love it. Very good. That's on the website, by the way. It's not mine. So how far have you got? Got any customers?
Yeah, so I mean, we're quite early stage, right? So we started, I'd say, officially live at the start of this year, maybe a couple of months before that, doing our first fundraise. We're working with a major carrier in one of their operating entities, so rolling out across their risk engineering team kind of this week or next, which is exciting. And then now speaking to other potential design partners to also trial this quickly.
You just raised 1.5 million, was it?
Yep.
Then what are you going to do? How are you spending that?
Wisely, given the long sales cycles in insurance. No, I mean, I think, we've built the product now. We can kind of keep adding to it, but I think at its core, really honing in on how people can use this very rapidly. So we can help insurers either on the broker side or the carrier side who have risk engineering departments to try Nettle in 2 weeks with no integration. And then long term, obviously, you get more value by integrating this with the rest of your workbench. But yeah, that's where the money's going.
And how can we all help you?
Yeah, I mean, introductions to people who work in kind of that commercial space and either feel the pain of risk engineering bottlenecks from the underwriting side, from the brokerage side, and are just interested in exploring something that is easy to pick up and see the value in.
Good luck. It's really cool. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you very much.
Alex, Dabell, you're the last one. Come on, tell us about Morph Cloud. Alex, what's your background?
So my background is I started in energy trading as a trader in quant, found myself in technology, and then in 2017, I found myself as the first technology hire in Price Forbes. So I had free reign, within reason, to try to digitize this industry and this organization, which had never done anything digital before, didn't think it was its gig. Yeah, that's how I got into the London market.
I think quietly we'll ask you how you got to 2017 without doing anything digital. But in the meantime, what are you doing there?
So the conclusion I came to at Price Forbes was that the industry was really interesting and full of opportunity, but it was never going to digitize with existing software development practices. We were just, you just reinvent the wheel over and over again. The industry's complex, it's diverse, there's so many classes, so many distribution channels, and it's always changing, which nobody in tech, they always want you to promise that it'll never change. So Morph Cloud takes an axe to all of that and makes it radically easier to digitize complex insurance data and processes. The aim is to make it routine in this industry. It's so easy, it's routine. That's my big vision.
And then how far have you got? You're working exclusively for Price Forbes, presumably.
So I'm working with a major London wholesaler, and we're integrating it with their trading systems, and the idea is to really revolutionize how they ingest client data, and not just your standard US cat modeling stuff, but any class in a day. The broker can come and have a conversation with you, and you can stand up the process. It's really cool.
And what next? Are you there on your own, working away on this stuff? They're going to give you a bit of resource?
Yeah, so this idea that I imagined, I thought, I've got to go and build it. Nobody's going to help me out with it, so that's what I've got to. This year is the year for building out the organization and growing it, yeah.
And then how can we all help you?
So I think I'm really interested in people's problem flow, which I need access to people's problems. So if you feel like you're underserved by the current technology stack, there's just no other options out there for your particular niche of your industry, or you're just priced out, come and chat to me, because in a day we can just have a go at digitizing your life, and you'll love it.
It's a bit like therapy. We can come and tell you what our problems are, and you'll be able to solve them.
Well, it's valuable. Yeah.
Alex, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.